I swung a perfect right hook, but hit nothing. And as I spun around to see where it went, the door to Tip's rooms.
Let's pause it. Head to bed. You know the usual routine. It's another day. Rag cross cunt. Why not? Rag fucking cross, dude. In the morning, yo. Gang gang. Hey, brother. What are you, my roommate, sis? Yeah. Cool. How come you're here, sis? Because I started a fight at school. And I got sentenced to here for the guy in coma. Cool. Well, good night. Good night. Hey, before you go to bed. Yeah, what's up? Don't know where I'd class with me tomorrow? Sure. Cool. Good night. Good night. See you guys in the morning. Up at 7 AM. Okay, cool. Let's go to somewhere, sis. Done. Baby brother, daddy. Good girl, sis. I know I am. Let's go chill in the fucking waterbury and smoke weed in the waterbury. Fair enough. Gang gang. I'll see you guys when we're at the waterbury. Well, here we are. Yep, here we are at the waterbury. Hey, here. Here is a couple of shares and Gwen. And here is a couple of shares and Gwen. Thanks, you thanks. You too, thanks. You too, thanks. You're welcome. I won't ask. Yeah, we won't ask what it's for. Good. I kept him out, so we're gonna do. Got it? Got it. Let's go chill and smoke weed. Over here. Lucky there is no smoke detectors or cameras over here. I don't see any smoke detectors or cameras. Just these fuckers here. Gang gang. Smoke some weed. Push play.
Slammed shut. I ran as fast as I could through the hospital the same way that I came in, all the way back down to the medical unit. When I got to the door that led outside, I kicked the cinder block away from the door and slammed it shut. My back against the door, I slid down until I was sitting on the concrete platform.
Actually, let's go to the gym. Fair enough. Sorry. Oh good. We'll fuck in the gym too. Done? Cool. I'll see you guys when I'm at the gym, I guess. Sorry. Sorry guys, I won't change it. You know what I mean. I see you then, cunts. See you then. Well, here we are at the gym. Yep. Let's go chill upstairs. Smoke a blunt upstairs. Let's go chill. Here, yo. No, let's go chill. Yeah. Here. Press play.
A few more times. What I learned from that night was that I don't quit, and my fight or flight response is to fight, but that doesn't work on ghosts. That night was the scariest moment of my life. This is a personal account, though I cannot deny that the whole subject of the supernatural has interested me since my early life. It has nonetheless been more than 30 years, and I have kept my peace about the one encounter that I had. Whatever the explanation, it is only with distance of many years that I feel comfortable enough to put it into words, what I saw. Though doubtless in the description, it will appear less than the sum of its parts. The palpable dread of that memory, however, is beyond my skill to relate. I had a vision of something wretched, something foul. It took the form of a human, though it wasn't human. and possibly never was. This happened in the summer of 1986 when I was 5 years old. We lived at that time near the village of Swords in North County, Dublin, Ireland, at the edge of a housing estate called River Valley. Our house was the last house on a cul-de-sac that was set into the slight hillside, so that from the upper windows, we had a wide view of the land around. At that time, the village and estate was surrounded by fields, though it has since all been developed. The forest road that led up to the village was lined with great trees, beech, poplar, and pine. They looked like towers from my bedroom window, and a sheep field lay across the road from the side of the house.
10 years old.
I have pleasant childhood memories of bright sunshine and warm breezes looking down on the lambs and ewes in that field from my side garden. My mother, with ghoulish humor, named one of the herd mint sauce.
Shit, really?
Visible also from my window, through the trees and the undergrowth along the forest road, was an old disused blacksmith's forge. I don't doubt that this too has long since disappeared. Perhaps every childhood has its own haunted place. It was the local rumor that this old forge was badly haunted. A girl from my road called Janet used to offer up a dubious tale that some school friends, on a dare one evening, were driven shrieking from the place, having heard a deep growl, while one of them was witnessing the phantom of a woman, or rather an invisible form in an old-fashioned print frock, hovering in the loft of an adjacent barn. So much for the local legend. I never went near that forge, and what I saw, I don't think has much to do with it. Then again, what do I really know? What I saw from my window of the spare room, just beside my own, at the front of the house. My grandmother used to sleep here when she would be over from her own house in Cabra, in the city. It was the end of summer, and my family had just returned from a holiday, the Isle of Man. And on a childish flight of fancy, I crept from my bed into the spare room. I looked out onto the darkened neighborhood. Shadows danced in the lighted porches of the houses, and colored flashes came from the direction of Dublin Airport, across the fields. Then, I looked down and saw it on the rock. There was a neighborhood marking stone at the entrance to the estate, just at the junction to the forest road, with the usual "Welcome to" inscription. It lay visible just below the spare room window. Sitting there was the diminutive figure of an old woman in an ancient dress. She wore a plaid cloak with an immense collar of shaggy fur, like the hair of a yak. Despite her apparent great age, her hair hung long and greasy black, down from under her ragged cap. One deathly white hand was clasped over a large brooch on her cloak. The figure seemed to glow in its own light against the darkness around. I saw no one else about. Her face was abominable. She was shockingly pale. She had a heavy brow and terrible raging eyes. They weren't the eyes of a human, more like a wild beast. Most disturbing, however, was my realization that those eyes had been fixed in a stare up at me from before I had even raised my head over the windowsill. Whatever she was, she had been aware of me before I of her. It was a nightmarish sight, a vision of wickedness. But I was not sleeping. I remember the malevolence of the expression on that awful face. It induced a sickening feeling, and I felt like vomiting, but I was unable to move. Then, the form of the little woman appeared to be growing steadily larger, until she swelled well beyond the stature of a normal human being. She also appeared to rise in the air above her seat. Then, a trickle of crimson passed down over my eyes, and the spell was broken. I collapsed down from the sill and hurried back to my own room. Later that night, I dared to glance out my window, but of course, there was nothing to see. I never saw anything of that weird woman again, and I have been greatly glad of it. We moved the year after, and that was that. But I have never talked about or inquired further concerning this, all through these long years. So this all just happened on Memorial Day 2021 in the biggest little city in the world. I will be using other names in this story out of respect for who they are, but I will use my own name because I'm okay with it. My name is Harlem, and on Memorial Day, I went to my second job as a housekeeping supervisor. Basically, I am in charge of checking the rooms when they are cleaned before the guests can check in and use them. I also am in charge of kicking people out at 11 a.m. Oh yeah, it's always fun to knock on someone's door telling them they need to go, or they will be charged another day. Some people are... We have only 6 checks out that day. This hotel is very small, mind you, and I made my rounds to all the rooms to see if they are vacant, or if I had to be the jerk that tells them they need to go. And last on my list was room 339. I knock on the door saying, "Housekeeping, room check." There is no answer. I knock a second time, saying the same thing. No answer again. So the third time I say, "Housekeeping, entering room," and slid my card in the door slot. It flashed green, and I slowly opened the door. To my surprise, the door only barely budged, and I could see the door latch was latched from the other side. This means someone had to be in the room, and had locked it. I took a peep through the small opening, and saw some bags of merchandise on the table, and some dishes in the sink. I then called out the tenant's name. We will call him Russ. "Russ, it's housekeeping." No response. Again, I try calling out his name, and I get nothing. Let me also say that when I tried to open the door, I was hit with really cold AC. Colder than normal. It gave me goosebumps immediately. I walked down to the front desk to see the manager. We'll call her Sam, and I gave her my report on the rooms. She then says to me, "Are you kidding? Russ had his door latched?" I was confused by this comment, thinking to myself, "Well, Sam, people do that stuff all the time, so what's the big deal?" She turns to me with this look in her eyes, as if someone just hit her in the Cheerios, and says, "Karen, who is the other supervisor, and we shall call her Karen, went to his room yesterday around 11 to tell him to check out, and he told her he needed till 12, but when she came back, the door was latched." I thought about this for a minute, thinking to myself, so this guy is either really paranoid, or there is something very wrong here. She then darts off towards the maintenance room, and then grabs this tool that looks like a curved meat fork, and tells me to go with her up to the room. When we arrived, she announced herself as the manager coming into the room, slid the card to open the door, and called his name. She then explains to me that the tool she had was a tool that would actually pop open the bolt lock on the other side, so we could enter. In order to do this, you need to have the tool in place through the crack to fit around the latch, pull the door towards you to slam it shut, and then at the same time push the tool forward. I hope that made sense. Anyway, my manager is like 60 plus years old and has a hard time even lifting a coffee cup. So I just had a feeling she wouldn't have the strength to do this. I offered to try it, as it had been about 34 minutes of her trying to get it. She says to me, "No, Harlem, I'm the manager. I'm the one that does this." Power trip much? Jeez. I was blown away by that comment, and her utter sassiness with that. She was giving up, so I offered another way to open the latch by using twine. She agreed to try it, so we went to the maintenance room and looked for some. All we found was thick string that I knew was too thick to get this lock open, but of course, she said she would make it work. I rolled my eyes. There we are, back up to the room again, and I explained to her how to do it, so the latch would pop. Of course, she wouldn't let me show her, because she was on a power trip, I guess, so she tried for about 17 minutes and failed. Once again, not letting me try, though I knew it wasn't going to work, being that thick. She then scoffs and takes off. I'm standing there wondering, what the heck? Where did she go? Again being hit with that ice-cold AC through the crack. She comes running back about 7 minutes later and has that tool again, and I'm thinking, good, she's finally going to let me try. Well, I was wrong. She tried and failed again for a good 10 more minutes. Finally, I was so frustrated with the whole situation, I grabbed the tool out of her hand and yelled, "Look, I don't care about your power trip right now. You can't open this door. I'm gonna try." She glares angrily at me, but stands aside. I put the tool in at an angle, going downward about halfway, and then I slide that in slow. I take the door handle and slam it shut towards me, and shove the tool in the rest of the way. I heard a click, and she pushes open the door and dashes inside. So the way the rooms are set up, the first area is a small kitchenette, which is next to the bedroom as you're walking forward. It's all one room, no walls, except to the right there is a bathroom. She scrambles to the bed and tells me he's not here. Well, clearly he's not in that room, but anyway, I look to my right to see the bathroom door closed. So let me tell you, up to this point, I have went over scenarios in my head about what could have happened to this guy. As I reached and pulled the doorknob, chills and shivers went down my spine, and as I opened that door, I saw a sight I have never seen before in my life. The gruesome body of the late 40s man was laying face down on the tile next to the toilet, with a huge jagged knife laying next to him. Sam is screaming like a lunatic, yelling that he has been murdered. Oh my gosh, she can't believe this. She turns around and pukes all over the kitchen sink in the other room. Here I am looking down on this lifeless body, and of course, I am always the type to analyze everything. I could see clearly that this man was not murdered, nor did he die unexpectedly. He had done it to himself. Under his left hand, you could see the biggest gash going from just the bottom of his hand, down about halfway on the inside of his arm. There was flesh seeping out of the area, and blood that was dry. I quickly got on my phone to call 911, and as I'm talking to, let's call her Lucy, the operator, she asks me a series of questions about the victim, which I answer them for her. Side note, she had even asked me to give mouth-to-mouth to the victim, in which I refused on the grounds that I said, "He's dead, ma'am. I can see that just by looking at him. Mouth-to-mouth won't bring him back. Plus, I am not comfortable giving mouth-to-mouth to a corpse. That's way over the top to me, and gross." As Lucy keeps talking to me, suddenly the hotel door flies open, and there are two paramedics rushing in with a stretcher. This whole time, by the way, I kept hearing the old AOL sound, "You've got mail," coming from the opened laptop that was on the bed. Didn't think anything of it at that point in time, but use it later in a theory. The paramedics are asking both of us the same questions as Lucy was, in which we answered. The male paramedic told us that they will take it from there, but the police are on their way and would need to talk to us. Before leaving this room, I noticed a few things beside the laptop, with the notifications every 30 seconds. The peephole was covered with tissue. There were no clothes anywhere in the room, and this guy was there for a week. The bed was not even slept in, just the open laptop that was plugged into the wall, and a photo on the dresser that had a picture of a young dude. And the TV was turned up so loud, with some kind of what looked like a home movie. As I am back downstairs in the office, I'm thinking in my head what everything means. Yeah, again, I analyze everything, and always pay close attention to detail. I have my own idea of what I think happened to this man. At this point, the police, detective, and coroner have all arrived, and I'm writing my statement for the detective. Let's call her Anderson. She asked me to write down everything that happened in detail. As I'm writing that, she leans over to ask me if I had any thoughts on what might have happened. I stopped writing and looked up at her, and took this time to tell her, I believe this guy did it himself between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. yesterday. Karen was the last person to see him alive. I believe he was about to do it, but then heard a knock at 11 o'clock. He opened the door. It was Karen telling him he had to check out. This interrupted him. Karen came back at 12. And the door was latched, and the peephole covered. I think that at that time, or very shortly after, he took his life. Karen didn't go back to check on him after 12, because at that hotel, they extend you for another day most of the time, and I guess he was a regular who stayed there a few times a year. I believe that he turned down the AC to the coolest setting, because the body would decomp at a slower rate with less smell. I believe that the man in the photo of the young dude might have been his son, or friend, or family member that he wanted to say goodbye to, and the TV turned up loud, as well as closing the bathroom door, to drown out the sound of him screaming as he did it. I believe that he was kneeling, maybe to pray or something when he did that, seeing as how there wasn't any blood coming from his head. If he had been standing, he would have smashed his head on the tile and bathtub. And as for being naked, well, some people believe that the only way to leave this life is the same way that you came into it. Maybe a purity thing, I am not really sure. And I do believe it was planned, because he didn't have any toiletries with him or clothes. And lastly, the AOL mail notification on the laptop, I believe was because this guy typed a suicide note, and probably emailed it. And people read it, trying to get in touch with him. I told her I also ruled out murder because of the fact that the door was latched from the inside, and the room was up on the 3rd floor, not to mention the windows only open about 25% of the way, simply to keep people from jumping out. The detective looked at me with a mysterious look and said, "Well, I think you should be doing my job. You surely are onto something, Harlem." She said she would keep me informed, and that the case was ongoing until the coroner made his final decision. She asked me if I needed anything, and I said no, that I was fine. I walked out of the break room where she had been questioning me, and Sam came up to me and asked if I was okay. I told her yes, but that I wanted the rest of the day off. She agreed. I'll probably never know what really happened to Russ, and again, everything I said about how it might have happened is just my thoughts. If anyone else has any thoughts, please share them. I'd appreciate it. Lastly, and I will leave off on this, the way I feel right now inside, I can't explain. And I couldn't sleep last night, because I have all these thoughts in my head about what happened. Not to mention the gruesome scene I witnessed. I know in time things will be easier, but for a while, I will have shivers when I have to open up a bathroom door in the hotel again. Thank you all for listening. And to Russ, I hope you found peace that it seems you so desperately needed. When I was 17 years old, in 2005, I lived in a quiet village where nothing ever happened. At least, that's what we thought. I had just gotten my license, and I was excited to meet up with my older boyfriend in the city on the weekend. It was the first time I was able to drive my car alone since getting my license, so the occasion was a celebration of sorts. I live in Wisconsin, so the distance between nowhere land and city isn't a great distance. 40 miles to Milwaukee. The highway to the major cities is a hop, skip, and a jump. Shortly after leaving the village, I noticed a white car on the side of the road, which wouldn't be uncommon for the area, except for it being summertime. During winter here, it is always a common courtesy to stop and see if they need help. But since it wasn't danger season, I normally wouldn't think twice about it. However, there was an 8-ish-year-old boy walking away from the car. We were at least a mile away from civilization, 14 miles to the nearest city, and I stopped to see what I could do to help. I had expected that he was with a grandparent or something that couldn't walk that sort of distance back to town for help. This was in a time when having a cell phone wasn't that common yet in the young and the old, being 2005. I pulled over next to the boy and asked him what was going on. He told me he was on his way to the only car repair shop in town, which was at least 3 miles away from where we were. I said that was a very long way to walk, and I offered him a ride. He was hesitant, and I told him I'm a student to the high school a mile away. I would let him hold my cell phone and my ID until we got there, if he felt afraid, and he could easily dial 911 without me being able to stop him, and we were only a 3-minute drive from where he was going. I said we should talk to the person in the car first, and the boy seemed to panic. First red flag. "No, it's fine, just go." I was like, okay. I was just a kid myself, and my local address was clearly on my ID. He looked at my ID for a minute and got into my car. He seemed at ease with holding my phone and my ID. This was a time before you could dial 911 without a passcode to a phone, so I gave him my passcode, and he seemed to feel even better when he could get into my phone. I told him not to check my boyfriend's messages, because he was too young. With the times and neighborhood we were around, that was reasonable to me. I didn't suspect anything. Then, the car that was pulled over that couldn't move suddenly screeched out of its spot and raced after me with its blinker on, insisting that I pull over. I looked over at the kid in my passenger seat with an eyebrow raised. Again, the child was about 8 years old. He was shaking with fear next to me. The man in the car behind us pulled over, got out, and slammed his car door behind him in a rage as he strutted up to my window. His face haunts my dreams to this day. It still didn't set well with me that he got into the man's car and they drove away towards the city. I called my date and told him I would be very late and went to the school as fast as my car could take me, with a license plate in mind. I talked to the liaison officer at my school after I ran into the building screaming his name like a banshee. I told him about the kid, and he said before I had even gotten there, someone had dialed 911 about my stopping to pick up the kid, and they were apprehended just as I got to the school. The caller was suspicious of me, too, which scared my liaison officer. I was the school's biggest goody two-shoes despite being the only goth. I gave my statement right there. I was told to never ever stop for a child again, lest I were to be suspected of abduction, and he said I was still in the wrong. I shouldn't have gotten involved. What if the man had a weapon? But the man in the car went to jail, and the boy was brought safely back home. He couldn't give me any details on the case, except that the man was apprehended and questioned, and the boy was brought home. And that's all I was ever told. I am not sure what crime I might have stopped that day, but that day I know I did play a part in saving that kid from something. I am so glad I stopped my car. I am a high school teacher in an urbanized province in the Southeast Asian country. I say urbanized because while this city is as modern as can be, you know, cars, televisions, computers, Wi-Fi, all of the comforts that we associate with the modern world, it was still considered a province, in that it is not in a metropolitan area. The school itself is quite urbanized, in that there are CCTV cameras in all classrooms, installed for the safety of students, teachers, and all staff. The classrooms are also fully air-conditioned, which is a plus in my country because we live near the equator. But this quite technologically advanced building is surrounded by trees, long rolling farms, a creek, things that one might associate with the province. Like I said, it was quite an urbanized city. I enjoyed teaching there because while everything is quite modern, the students still retain the quaint politeness and courtesy that develops in kids who are raised in the province. But I am not telling this story because of how I enjoyed every day of my stay there. Way back in 2014, I have 2 periods with the 8th grade class in room 314. The first one was at 12:20, the second at 2:40. I was rushing to room 314, where I will be teaching my 12:20 p.m. class, which is after lunch. The stairwell is situated between 305 and 304, so you can imagine the long hallway that I have to rush through to get to my class. I was already 5 minutes late, so the hallways are pretty empty, save for a few students rushing to their rooms. Room 314 is the last classroom in the hallway, and beyond that is a set of stairs, used only as an emergency exit. Since students tend to be late for classes after lunch, I have a rule that if I enter the room before them, they will be considered tardy. I reached room 314, entered the room, and started my class. We were having a debate that day, and it was the first time that I get to sit down during this class. I sat down at the back and listened as my students performed. A few minutes later, the door opened, and my student, let's call him Kyle, entered the room and smiled bashfully. I jokingly scowled at him and tapped my watch, letting him know that he's already late. Of course, I am not really going to give him a tardy deduction. It's his first warning anyway. The session went on without incident, and when the time is up, I reminded them of our skit later on for our 240 class. In my country, the students stay in their classrooms with the same classmates, or what we call sections, and the teachers are the ones transferring room per room. Come 240, I was back in room 314, giving my final reminders before we start the skit. When we were about to begin, one of my students, let's call her Erica, told me that their group cannot perform because the lead actor is absent. I didn't notice any vacant chairs, I said. Who's absent? Erica replied, it's Kyle. I was mildly surprised since I just saw Kyle earlier, but I just asked Erica, did he need to leave early? Was he sick? Erica answered, no, he's been absent the whole day. I didn't push the issue, told them they can present next time, but I was so sure I saw Kyle earlier. So after class, I went to the admin office to ask the security desk if I can watch the CCTV footage from room 314, 12:20 p.m. The security officer gave me a strange look and clarified if I wanted to see room 314. The reason I'm asking, said the security officer, is that we thought it was very strange. Every single feed from all 40 plus rooms in the building is working, except for room 314. And around the time that you mentioned. That's when I started to feel that maybe something paranormal just happened.
Maybe Kyle passed away and hey, one more last time before moving on.
In my late 20s, I got hired on as an overnight security guard at a defunct beef plant slaughterhouse that had been shut down the year before. There were always 2 guards on duty. There was a lot of equipment, vehicles, and supplies left that made it a metal scrapper's dream. So the guards would make the rounds of the property to keep an eye on things. One goes west and around the property. The other goes east. Then we would switch. We would occasionally meet up near or at the back gate to chat for a few minutes, relay pertinent information, and have a quick cigarette. A lot of things would happen that couldn't be readily explained, like rocks being thrown from the empty catwalks and in the cattle pens, bangs, taps, and scraping sounds from buildings that we had already checked, cleared, and made sure were locked. We usually just blamed it on old metal contouring with temperature changes, but one night terrified me and the other guard on duty. I had just started my shift around 11 p.m. I radioed the other guard who was already on a round to let him know that I was headed out down the east side. He confirmed his location to be on the west side of the plant. Now, a full walk of the perimeter of the plant, not including stops to check locked doors and such, takes about 45 minutes. So I know that it will be at least 30 minutes until we pass each other near the back gate. As I am walking the east side, I have a clear view of the back gate. I stopped to check the locks on the doors I passed. I am about 10 minutes to the back gate, and I can see the other guard standing there, his back to me, smoking a cigarette. I thought, dang, he's booking it tonight. So I checked one more door before heading to meet him. But when I turned around, there was no one there. I was a little disappointed that he hadn't waited for me, as was usual. It was just kind of a routine for all the guards. So I radioed him and asked if he was all right, or if I had irritated him or something, and why he didn't wait for me at the gate. There was silence for a few seconds before he comes back with, "What are you talking about? I'm in the cattle pens. I won't be at the gate for another 15 minutes." He had apparently been chatting with a police officer parked in the staging lot doing some paperwork, so he was late on his round. No. I saw him at the back gate. Saw his guard hat, signature security jacket and slacks, cigarette in hand, standing looking at the back gate. I look over at the cattle pens just to make sure he wasn't screwing with me. Being the only female guard at that location, it wasn't unheard of for the guys to razz me from time to time. He's on the radio asking me what is going on. I see him pop up as he climbs up one of the cattle fences to check my location. He flashes his light. He is right in the middle of the pens, a good 10 minutes from the gate if he were to run it. I had seen him at the gate, then looked away for maybe a minute and a half. No way he could get that far that quick. So I radio him that there's someone in the property, inside the fence. We go into lockdown mode, checking every inch of the property for the next 2 hours. We find no one. All gates are locked. All doors are secure. We are both shaken and unnerved. You hear things, feel things, maybe see a fleeting shadow around the plant. But this was the first time anyone had seen a full, solid figure. Or, at least, it was the first time anyone had admitted it.
Because they are. These are all stories of fake. They're not real, these stories.
I have experienced a handful of paranormal experiences, but only this one sticks out as truly chilling. And one that I still have no explanation for, other than the belief that it was something demonic, or an evil spirit at the very least. It was at a friend of my brother's house, where my brother had left some of his things, and asked if I could pick them up for him, since he currently was out of state. Being the loyal brother, I went to get them, but decided to bring a few of my friends with me, since I had already made plans with them, and figured this would only take a second. While we were there, Roy, my brother's friend, kept telling us that there were demons in his house, and I chalked it up to him just being a little nuts, in combination with him trying to scare us. But the first strange occurrence happened when I picked up my brother's things. Among my brother's things was his old Bible. Curious as to what notes he may have written in it, I opened it up, but quickly discovered that every other page in the 1,000-page Bible was stuck together with what looked like pieces of double-sided tape. Although it startled me, I still did not believe it was something supernatural, and rationalized that Roy went to this extreme measure to convince us of his story. But what happened next confirmed it. One of my friends, Mike, had to take a call from his then fiancée, now wife. During this time I saw him come back inside, walk across the room and into the hall without looking at us. Since this was a house he was not familiar with, I thought it extremely odd that he didn't say anything, or ask where the bathroom was, for example. So I called out to him. No response. I walked out into the hall where he went into, and it was just darkness. I called out to him again. No response. At this point it felt like the temperature in my blood dropped 10 degrees, and I could have sworn the classic cliche of the door closing behind you was starting to happen. I propped the door with my hand before it closed, and promptly went outside to find Mike, still on the phone. I asked him if he had just come inside to use the bathroom or something, and he said, "No, I've been on the phone. I don't even know where the bathroom is." As he saw the look on my face, he asked, "What's wrong?" And I simply just told him that we needed to leave. I later explained everything to him on the car ride, at which point he clearly denied that he ever did such a thing, and felt very uncomfortable knowing the story. We both agreed to never visit that house again. Before I start this story, a little background on me. I am a female who just finished my associate's degree and starting to work on my bachelor's degree. It was the spring of 2010, and I chose a university that was an hour and a half away from where I lived. It had the major and minor I was looking for. On certain days, I went to school, while the other 2 days I worked. This semester, for some reason, I decided to include classes on my work days. One day, I decided to stay the night in town, instead of going home and returning the next morning. I would later regret this choice to stay in this one hotel. I drove to this roadside place and checked in. I left to go have dinner at the school, and then off to Walmart that was right across the street to pick up a set of fresh clothes for tomorrow. I then returned to my room so I could start to study for a test that I had the next day. A quick layout of my hotel room. When you enter the door, to your left is the bathroom. Glass sliding doors are straight ahead of you. The TV was on the wall to the right, with the bed and table and the chairs right next to the bed. Small lamps near the bed are attached to the wall. I had put my stuff down, got out my notes and watching the little TV. I had looked at my watch, saw that it was getting late, and decided to stop so I could take a shower and go to bed. The floor underneath me still had that same feeling. I looked at the bottom of my foot to see what it could be. Nothing was there, and my foot wasn't even and then came back to get in bed. I turned off the TV and the lights and tried to go to sleep. I don't know if it was just a few minutes or an hour, but I heard voices that sounded like they were right on top of me. A man and a woman. I sat straight up in bed looking around to see who was in there.